As Simon and Garfunkel once wrote, the sounds of silence. Your Pratt Pack little meditation here before we lace up the leather and get to work and then head on down to Legacy Studios. But I wanted to take time today because tomorrow we're going to be with Paul Radadovich, the former lieutenant for many years with the Pennsylvania State Police and the pro and the family name behind the Beaver Valley Golf Club. The oldest course, that's right, in the state of Pennsylvania, talking about Paul's wonderful golf tournament with the Beaver County Heart and Cancer Society. So we're going to be spending a lot of time there tomorrow night talking to Paul and Jimmy about a number of things. So I wanted to come to you today with a heart-filled message about truly a hero of mine that I never had a chance to meet, but obviously idolized for many reasons, as many did, millions worldwide. Tomorrow will mark the 40th anniversary of the death of Elvis Aaron Presley, who was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, and was dirt poor, folks. His family, at the age of 13, they moved to Memphis, Tennessee, looking for a better life. And lo and behold, with a string guitar a few years later, he had an opportunity to record his first song with the legendary Sam Phillips at Sun Records. And Scotty Moore and Bill Black were a part of that very first band. And that was the sound that launched Elvis Presley to eventually end up selling 600 million units worldwide. That's a whole lot of music, folks. And they are still remixing and replaying. And yes, there's even a 24-hour, 7 days a week satellite station that I enjoy quite a bit. Why? Because it makes me feel as though that the king is still around. Elvis Presley's first movie was Love Me Tender in 1956. He went on to star in 33 movies, was actually making $1 million a picture at the time when some of the most famous actor and actresses in Hollywood weren't even coming close to that. And yeah, he got a little tired of that and decided to come back to the stage that made him, going back to those early days on the Louisiana Hayride and, of course, just becoming a rock and roll phenomenon. But he had been gone from the stage for a very long time. So he and Colonel Tom Parker and others got together and signed a deal with NBC. They now call it the Comeback Special. Elvis donned in leather, looking as good as ever, but still a very young man, only in his early 30s, when many people are just kind of starting and finding their way in their career as entertainers. Elvis had already been on top and the lead story in Variety magazine for many, many, many years. Well, he didn't disappoint. Elvis had this ability, even though when times were tough and even in failing health, he always had the voice, and he had that appeal that just kind of went on like a light, and people absolutely embraced him. And then after that, it was, well, on to Vegas. And for many years, he was there and traveling worldwide up until his very untimely death, August 16, 1977. Only 42. But to kind of give you an idea how long it's been since Elvis Presley passed away, do the math. He would have been 82 years of age if he were alive today. Would he have been popular? I believe so. But I also wanted to take time to talk about the man who really never had a chance to grow up because of his life kind of taken from him at a very young age because he catapulted to fame and fortune. One of his more famous hits, I might add, that he sang on the Frank Sinatra special in 1960. I've always really felt bad for Elvis Presley because of those headlines that really took his life. All of the allegations and documented evidence of his drug use. But you have to understand, Elvis Presley was in a business at the time that it was commonplace. When you were barnstorming the country, you did whatever you had to do to just keep it going. And lo and behold, Elvis kept it going year after year, not just for himself, but the responsibility he felt to family and friends to take care of everyone. So sooner or later, no matter who you are, even the brightest burning candle, sooner or later somebody opens the wind and that candle blows out. And he did die, only 42 years of age. His health obviously in disarray. And yeah, the waistline wasn't what it used to be. But, you know, we all can identify to that. And that's why we still love Elvis Presley, no matter what his physical appearance was. And I still listen to his music today, many times plugged into the ears while working out in the Pratte Pack gym. And no matter what's going on in my head or in my life, you know, Elvis just has the way to kind of like, well, jumpstart your mojo. And he will always be just that for me. Do I think about him often? Sure I do. I mean, you can't help but think about Elvis Presley and the Aloha from Hawaii satellite special, and obviously that NBC special, and all of the footage on YouTube of him in Vegas, and going back to those days early when the Ed Sullivan Show was the first to really let the nation see the talent of this young man, who was a decent young man who just kind of grew into an icon. And sometimes I really wonder, in his quiet time at Graceland or in some hotel room or on a jet going somewhere across the country to perform, if he ever thought maybe he would have just been better off being that kid from Tupelo who ended up growing up in Memphis. His beloved wife, Priscilla, the only woman he ever married, and his beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, still very significant as far as the Presley name. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. So tomorrow, wherever you may be, whatever you're doing, just take a moment or two and hum a few of those songs, and it'll be like Elvis never left the building. Have a great day from the Pratte Pack Gym. We'll see you later tonight from Legacy Studios in East Liverpool, Ohio.